let's talk about a very powerful legal podcast slash YouTube channel, and that's Lawful Masses with Leonard French. Okay, what I love about Leonard is that he's able to break down very complex legal issues in accessible content. Okay, and so let me first give you the overview. So in today's conversation, what I want to do is I want to look at his legal podcast slash YouTube channel, how he's able to monetize his content, and how he's able to interact and connect with his audience on a very, I would say, in a very easy, I mean, seemingly easy way. Okay, let me first talk to you about the overview. So, Lawful Masses with Leonard French. Leonard French is actually a legal education and commentary YouTube channel and podcast that actually does a lot of things. It offers, for instance, in-depth analysis of legal topics. So when you have pretty high-profile legal topics or even low-profile legal topics, Leonard actually will dig deeper and explain to our viewers what really is happening here. Okay, so you have in-depth analysis of legal topics. I love that. You also have court case analysis, so court case examination. You have intellectual property disputes on his show, and you have digital rights issues. So those are actually pretty good topics that the public cares about. His viewers care about. So this is really cool. And so Leonard French himself is a practicing attorney based in Pennsylvania. Okay, and but the cool thing is that the channel has grown into a trusted source for legal insights, particularly in areas that intersect with technology, media, and the internet. So you can see that Leonard has carved out a pretty good niche for himself, intersection of technology, media, and the internet. Okay. And one thing I want to say about the Leonard is that this is a young and brilliant legal mind, okay? And so he's an American attorney. I mean, he's a YouTuber. He's also a legal educator. So this is something to really remember. So before launching his YouTube channel, because nowadays he's really working on his channel 24/7. I mean, this is a full-time endeavor right now. But before he launched his YouTube channel, like I said a little earlier, he was practicing law in Pennsylvania, okay? And he got recognition for his work in digital rights, including his involvement in high-profile legal disputes like the Lands versus Universal case, okay? The Dancing Baby case involving fair use on YouTube. So this is kind of important. And one thing I want to say also is that the Lawful Masses with Leonard French actually is a pretty successful endeavor in terms of impact. Okay, he has tens of thousands of subs, so this is really fantastic. So let's first talk about YouTube. So when I just told you that he has tens of thousands of subs, as of the date of this show, he's around 165K. 165,000 subscribers. Okay, so that's pretty massive. That tells you that folks are interested in what Leonard has to say. Okay, and I love the fact that you will love also the fact that he's explaining things in pretty accessible in a pretty accessible way. That's what really makes people love Leonard French's content. Okay, and the channel has been around for nearly 10 years. So they launched in 2016. Okay. But that's really impressive because in less than 10 years, being able to amass that much of a follower is really of a follower base is really fantastic. So on the channel, you have different formats. It really depends on the case, on the topic, but also on Leonard French's team's inspiration, because you have long form YouTube videos, you have live streams, and you have shorts, depending again on what the public can what will resonate better with the public. Okay, and in terms of topics covered when it comes to the Lawful Masses, you have copyrights and fair use. I've said this before, the intersection of internet, technology, and the media. So you have lawsuits involving YouTubers and creators, you have trademark disputes, you have internet governance and digital rights. Those are pretty good topics. You have legal implications of emerging technologies. So what Leonard is doing here is that he's looking at what's happening, and he's looking at the implications of what is happening and what could happen based on what has already happened. Okay, You have court procedures and public access to justice, and you have legal commentary on current events. So this is really good because it provides a broad area of topics that the public actually needs for education, entertainment, but also information. So that this is really cool. And in terms of content structure, you have case breakdowns. Okay, so the core of the channel consists of detailed explanations of real-world court cases. So these videos often include readings of actual court documents, which Leonard explains and interpret in real time. And so commonly discussed themes include copyright takedowns, DMCA abuse, and First Amendment challenges. You also have live streams, okay? So they have Legal Eagle watch parties, for example. You have tutorial and explainer videos, and you have creator lawsuits and dramas. You also have amicus curiae readings. So this is really cool. Let me give you some generalities here. If you think about Lawful Masses well with Leonard French, in terms of audience and impact, the audience is pretty defined. Okay, so the target audience revolves around content creators, law students. You have tech savvy professionals, and anyone interested in the law and digital rights. Like I said, Leonard's niche is pretty carved out. Okay, so his style is thoughtful, slow paced. I love that, and academically inclined. And this appeals a lot to viewers who value in-depth learning over quick summaries. Okay, so his ability to break down complex legal language without oversimplifying makes his content valuable to both lay people and legal professionals. So in terms of, let me dig a little deeper here so you can understand what I really mean. So there are some notable features to think about if you are exploring Leonard's content. For instance, you have document-based analysis. So here he reads legal filings on screen and annotates them in real time. He uses voiceover and annotations to highlight significant legal language and procedural elements. You also have a community-driven approach. So the Lawful Masses community often suggests topics, submits questions, and helps fund legal document acquisition through Patreon or direct donations. This is really good. I'll speak about monetization later on, but this tells you a lot about a very committed community. Okay, and you also have legal transparency. So one of Leonard's core missions is increasing public access to legal documents and court proceedings, right? The whole idea here is what? The whole idea is to demystify the law, to make sure that the public can actually participate, can be an active, I would say an active user base when it comes to the law. And so Leonard does a great job in advocating for legal transparency and also encouraging citizen literacy in legal systems, okay? And so you have a highly educational and fact-based content platform that offers a real legal insight without clickbait or misinformation, transparent about sources, funding, and limitations, and also is really interactive and community focused. Now, of course, the Lawful Masses has some criticism. Has received some criticism in the past few years. Like some people have said that the pacing can be slow for casual viewers. You have a heavy use of legal jargon, may be difficult without legal background, and also some viewers actually find the real-time document reading tedious. If you're not interested in the topic itself, or you just want to have a quick summary, the reading can be a little complicated. But hey, listen, it's part of the process, okay? And also, you do have some online presence and support when it comes to the Lawful Masses with Leonard French. Of course, besides the YouTube channel, you also have a Patreon platform. Okay, so what happens on Patreon here is that basically, the host Leonard offers early access, document downloads, and participation in topic voting. So there is a paid Patreon, I would say a paid Patreon membership, okay? You also have a Discord community. So Leonard is also, so this is someone who is very savvy. He's savvy about everything about the internet. So that's why it's very rare. And I've reviewed other legal podcasts in the past. It's very rare to see a podcast on Discord. You see them on Patreon. You see them on TikTok. You see them on I wouldn't say mainstream media, but Discord is not something that you would think of, at first as a lawyer. You might think of LinkedIn. You might think of a platform like you might think of podcasting, but not on Discord. But Leonard is present on Discord. He has a Discord community. So this is for real time discussions and legal support among fans. And you also have, and his website is also pretty good. Okay, this often includes blog posts, legal updates, and links to source materials. So this is really fantastic. And also in terms of his legal and educational contributions, he's frequently cited by other YouTubers, YouTube commentators and digital rights advocates. He has contributed to discussions around copyright reform and platform liability. And he supported cases and causes involving creators' rights, such as fair use battles and public domain advocacy. So this is really cool because, the podcast stands out as a reliable, educational, and civically responsible platform. That's what we want to see, okay? You have a host that demystifies the law, empowers creators with knowledge, and contributes to the broader conversation about freedom, responsibility, and fairness in digital spaces. So I spoke about the website. So let's talk about Leonard French's website. You can see on the screen. So his website is leonardjfrench.com. Okay. And so the website is pretty simple and pretty informative. Okay. But one thing you need to understand is that the host himself, French, is a Pennsylvania-based attorney specializing in copyright and internet law, particularly in the digital content and technology sectors. Okay. So his official website serves as the primary platform for his legal practice. And here he offers services tailored to creators, developers, and individuals navigating complex online legal issues. Okay. So everything revolves around online legal issues. And so he's, in terms of his legal services, he provides two main categories of services. So you have copyright and content law, and you also have subpoenas, summons, and lawsuits. Okay. So when it comes to copyright and content law, he assists clients with copyright registration, infringement defense, and licensing agreements. And in terms of subpoenas, summons, and lawsuits, he offers here defense strategies for individuals who have received legal notices related to copyright matters. Okay, so his approach emphasizes relieving clients of legal burdens, allowing them to concentrate on their creative pursuits. Okay, so initial consultations are offered free of charge. So this is really great because it tells you that Leonard is really interested in helping his clients first and foremost. So if you're interested to know more about his firm, you can see on the screen. I will put this on the screen. Everything you need to know about this host. Fantastic, very brilliant host. So the mailing address. Okay, he's in Hellertown in Pennsylvania. His phone 610-466-5644. You also have a toll-free number 888-801-8681. You have a fax number and you have his email. So clients can actually reach out via phone, email, or through the contact form available on his website. So this is really, really cool. So let me talk to you now about the monetization. So Leonard French is a really savvy businessman. I mean, I love the fact that he's running his YouTube channel, but also thinking about monetization avenues on the side. So let's first talk about his Patreon. So in terms of Patreon, he has a crowdfunded legal education system through the platform. Okay, so Patreon remains Leonard's most consistent and transparent revenue stream. So basically what happens is that through this platform, patrons support the channel monthly in exchange for perks such as early access to videos, behind the scenes updates, legal document downloads, including case PDFs and annotations, voting rights on which cases or topics to cover next. So that's really cool. And you also have Patreon-only Discord channels or Q&A sessions. So this is really good because this sort of revenue or I would say monetization strategy appeals to an audience that values legal education and civic literacy, creates a community-driven funding model, right? If you think about it, because you're not relying solely on ad revenue, because ad revenue is actually cyclical and not really reliable. And also, this fosters a sense of ownership and investment in the channel's mission. So besides Patreon, you also have the YouTube Partner Program. That's the AdSense revenue, right? So here you have of course you have to rely on AdSense. It is what it is. But here, listen, the cool thing is that Leonard French has been able to diversify. He's not putting all his eggs in the same proverbial baskets, okay? Because what happens here is that some legal topics, including lawsuits, harassment claims, may be flagged by YouTube's algorithm and demonetized or limited. As a result, Leonard is not really, relying on ad revenue, so that's important. You also have legal services and brand credibility, right? So basically, he's a licensed attorney. So this is someone who has studied the law, who knows the law, who practices the law. Okay, so basically, the channel and the podcast act as a passive marketing tool for his legal practice in internet and IP law, and positions him. Those two conduits position him as a thought leader in digital rights, as a credible legal authority for those niches. Okay, something that's really neat to think about. And you also have to think about the indirect revenue, because the channel may attract referrals, consulting opportunities, or speaking engagements. It also supports broader branding for a legal commentary or expert witness roles. So that's really cool. So there are other ways that Leonard actually makes money. I mean, for his ventures, you also have direct donations. So you have one-time support. So if viewers like his personality, I mean, like his content, viewers can actually donate. So you have he receives the direct support via PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, for instance. Okay, and you also have Streamlabs. So for live donations during live streams. So this is really fantastic. You also have, in terms of live stream features, during live streams, users can contribute via YouTube Super Chats, where viewers pay to have their comments featured. And they are often read aloud and responded to, adding interactivity and incentive to donate. So this is kind of cool. Another way that Leonard actually monetizes his content is through affiliate links, merch. Okay, but he doesn't do that as much as other players in this space. I mean, if you think about a player such as CLR Bruce Rivers, you really have an entire store set up for merch. Right now, Leonard French doesn't have a dedicated merch store, but I'm pretty sure is working on it. I mean, he's working on it. Okay, I mean, of course, in the last few years, he has offered every now and then some merchandise, such as mugs or T-shirts. Okay, but again, at this point, this is not his strategy. He also makes a little bit of money through affiliate links. Okay, and so this is kind of cool. And also, he's thinking about monetization through a sponsored content, although right now he's not really focused on that. Okay. And you also have educational licensing syndication, and this could be a potential future monetization. So I want you to look on the screen here. Here is the summary of monetization channels that Leonard French actually has pursued in the last few years. One thing for sure, you can see that right now, sponsored content and educational licensing is not his major focus. He's been doing a lot through Patreon, and also legal practice credibility. Okay, donations and super chats and YouTube ad revenue can also increase, but for now they're not really central. And also sponsored content and educational licensing could be potential avenues in the future, but right now they're not. So I just wanted to look at this strategy. This is really fantastic. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about Lawful Masses with Leonard French. I give you the overview, his YouTube strategy, the generalities about his whole approach, his website, the monetization process, and the conclusion. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.